The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing Icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week with your host, Tomasz Fonseca, and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business, from $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters in Real Estate Marketing, Arter SEO.
Welcome to another episode of the Icons of Real Estate podcast, where we highlight top professionals who are making waves in the industry. I'm your host, Karen Roberts, and today we're joined by top agent Aleksandr Frankov. He's known for closing 100 deals a year. He recently left Keller Williams for EXP Realty, a move that's really sparked industry buzz. Now, he's going to share why he made the switch and how it's impacted his business and key lessons from his real estate journey. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll gain some valuable insight. So let's dive in. Welcome to the show, Alex. So would you like to share with the listeners a little bit of, well, first of all, what inspired you to go into the business of real estate in the beginning?
So I have a quite interesting story. So in 2019, we were expecting baby number 5 daughter. And at that point, I sold my business and I started flipping in 2017. And basically, I saw how other agents did the open houses and did everything. I told myself, hey, I want to try doing this. So, I prayed and I'm like, God, if this is your will, please let me pass this test. And I did. So 2019, I got my license. Out of nowhere, I had a transaction happening. I could not get paid because I did not know how to do forms, do all that stuff. All I did is all I knew is how to build relationships. And so basically my office staff was chasing me like, Alex, get me all these forms so we can get you paid. So like I said, and one agent told me, like, Alex, don't worry about that. Figure out, just keep what you're doing, build relationships, and just hire a TC and she'll take care of everything. So that's what happened 2019. I ended up closing my first year, 38 transactions. I became a rookie of the year. Basically, I got international award. So rookie of the year, like worldwide. So I closed 2019, the most transactions. Nobody ever closed that many transactions that year. Keller Williams, basically, I was number 1 guy. So at that point, I obviously knew that I love doing this. I love helping people, and I knew at that point that was my destiny.
Awesome. And so, look, I know you've been closing 100 transactions a year. So, what inspired you to take the leap and transition from Keller Williams into EXP?
Well, so I always like to be surrounded by other agents just to support and all that. But really, basically, I felt like I wasn't treated as number 1 closer in their office. And I still like that office. I like all the people, but to me at that point, I felt like I want to be I did not need all the tools what they had to provide. I just felt like I can do this by myself, and I can inspire others, and I can use all the tools that EXP has to provide. And and I'll tell you more after the results. But I'm very happy that I did that move, and I'm happy that So the biggest reason why I did change that because of my family. So because when I cap, then the money goes to Keller Williams, but with EXP, obviously there's a stock option. So that's what really that attracted me, because I knew that I'm gonna cap my first month, and I knew that I'm gonna close 20 more transactions in the months 2 and 3. So to me, it was a no-brainer.
Awesome. And so, I mean, you're closing such high volume. So how has that shaped your approach to real estate?
Well, some people think I don't sleep, I don't eat, but that's untrue. I am highly organized person. I have a board. I call it my magic board. So, and all my transaction is on that board. So it gives me like, it motivates me. Like, so right now, I have 52 transactions on my board right now, and I keep track of every single transaction. I know exactly which stage it's at. So that's why I'm, being highly organized, that really helps me. And so that's why I never, I can handle 100 transactions at one time, and I can still be very productive and very accurate, and still can support other new clients. So that has never been a problem. So I can handle, and I have an amazing transaction coordinator. And obviously, if I want to close more than 100 transactions a year, I would need to hire another person, which is like a CEO, somebody that could do that for me, so I can just start focusing on being in front of my clients. And I believe that's really what's gonna get me the top. It's gonna be best return on my dollar, on my time.
Fantastic. And what would you say? What's the one lesson that you've learned that you wish you knew when you first started?
Well, I came from like being a very shy-ish person, like shy. Right now, I being out of comfort zone. That's it. Being out of comfort zone. If you are in your comfort zone, A, you're never gonna grow. B, you're never gonna get from base one to second base, or get to you'll never get there. If you're gonna be out of your comfort zone, then good things will happen. Just randomly knocking on doors, randomly calling people, just randomly talking to people anywhere you're at, just being authentic, not being, and not make it about the money, make it about building true, authentic relationships. And that's what really is going to get you far. And that's what really got me there, because all my clients that I started 2019, they all follow me. Like today, I received a random call from some guy, Michael. He's like, "Hey, Alex, I know that everybody uses you to list your homes. Can you come out?" I said, "Sure. Do I have a choice?" I'm just being sarcastic. No, I now gladly. And so what I always, the reason why I really got into real estate was really, it's just, I wanted I want to treat other people like I want to be treated. When when I was, not a realtor, I felt like other agents could have done a better job for me. And I guess that was the reason, like holding my own open houses. And I held my own open houses even when I didn't even have a license to do so. So that
Wow.
was kind of crazy. Yeah, but at that point, it gave me a little bit of, hey, can I do this? Yeah, and actually, two houses got sold because I held an open house, and random buyer drove by. He came in. I told him everything about the house as the owner, and they put two offers. So yeah, I know there was a house Maple Valley that sold because I held an open house, and the house in Puyallup got sold because I held an open house. So yeah, so at that point, I knew exactly when I closed those 38 transactions. I'm like, hey, there's no going backwards. It's only going
Mm.
forward. And at that point, I wanted to be just being better and serve my clients better and give them 100%.
I mean, look, so many people, they struggle to even hit 20 transactions in a year. So what do you think is separating you from the marketplace? What are some of the strategies? You mentioned there you do open houses. What other strategies do you use to get such high turnover?
I think really it's about being authentic, and treat other clients like I want to be treated. And I always tell them that. I said, hey, I would list this house and I would do everything that I would do if this was my house. So people really like that. So and a lot of times on stuff happens, and I'm very flexible. Like for example, there was a transaction that went south. Appraiser came in 5K less. So I solved the issue even before. So I had the bad news and the good news. So I told him, hey, bad news is that appraiser came in 5K, but the good news is that me and buyer's agent, we're gonna split that 5K. I'm gonna contribute $2,500, and she's gonna do it. So in the end of the day, I made the seller happy, and guess what happened? He bought another house, and guess who's gonna sell it? Me.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have to do what I did, but I did. And that's what really, I think it's not just regular, but going above and beyond. That's what really helped you earn a bonus point, or I call it a brownie point, So yeah, being real, it's not being pull up on a Lamborghini and not talking to people who, I can talk to anybody anywhere. I don't care how much money I have in my account. I don't have how many rentals I have. That to me, doesn't matter. My job is every morning is like, how many people can I help today? And I do some things that out of normal. Like I would come in to list a house. I'm like, hey, do this. I'm gonna give you the best cleaner there is. I'm like a good resource. I'm like a yellow pages. If you know, back in the day, there was a yellow pages. So they call me. I'm like, do you have a survey guy? I'm like, yeah. So typically a survey guy will charge you $2,500. My guy, he's going to come this weekend. He's going to only charge you $750. That's a deal. So I'm like their asset. Number one, I'm their friend. I'm their professional realtor, and I'm also their, like I said, good resource. So and they trust me. And sometimes they ask me questions. I'm like, hey, I can't answer that, but I'll send you, I'll connect you with the right person that knows that. So, and so back in my church, people called me a yellow pages, because every person that, like, if I meet you, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to get your number and I'm going to put that in my phone. So that's the difference. Did I collect everybody's contact? You never know. And sometimes I've gained a client because there's a client that did a flip next door to me. I came and talked to them. I gave him some resources. I didn't ask him for the business. I didn't tell him, hey, come work with me. Just by doing what I did, I bought 2 houses that I'm going to be selling for them. Never approach. I don't like to undercut any, but if I know that person works with an agent, unless they come to me and they ask me, Alex, find me a flip, find me a deal, then I'm okay with that. But I would never go and talk to them first and say, hey, I'm going to be better agent than the other agent. I'd never do that, and that's, and I take pride in that. So never steal anybody, and just be authentic. Like I said, that comes down to just being, again, 2 things: being authentic, and number 2 is being out of comfort zone. That's it. Those 2 major things that I would say, if you want to survive, not survive, thrive. Yes. And what I tell people is this: the only one thing that that what I told myself, Alex, if you get into real estate, real estate market, I associated with like ocean. I said, you gotta jump all in the ocean and start swimming. If you're gonna come in and put your toes in, hey, is the water cold? Is there sharks? Don't do that. You gotta jump all in, and figure out how to swim, figure out how to survive, and then you'll be okay. But if you're just gonna be testing waters, then you're gonna be taking classes, learning firms, knowing how to write forms, knowing everything, but except one thing: not knowing how to connect and how to build relationships with clients. That's it. And it's not always about the clients. It's also with vendors, with everybody else, because that vendor, I have so many vendors that I sold houses to. Why? Because I was authentic. I told them stuff that, that some people pay money. I did it for free. I'm a free resource. I told him, if this was my house, this is what I would do. And then he calls me back, Alex, I want you to sell my house, use the same strategy you told me you're going to do. That's it. I mean, obviously I had no choice. I had to list it, but it's really, building relationships, being out of your comfort zone and being authentic. That's it. I mean, I've been in real estate since 2019. I don't know anything else that I could share. Those three major things that will help you thrive in real estate.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for those tips. I'm sure the listeners will be making notes. So what I've got from you is the strength of building relationships, being very organized, and stepping out of your comfort zone. And if you want to be getting those kinds of transactions, I mean 100, that's crazy. So what's next for Alex? What are your goals for this year?
Okay, well, my next for this year, I'm finishing building my house, brand new construction, and that is 100% paid off. And then I'm working on setting up 3 more Airbnbs. I do have 10 long-term rentals. We're gonna have 4 short-term rentals by end of this year. And next year, in order for me to grow even higher, more volume, I need to hire myself a CEO, somebody who could be in front of a computer, somebody who could be doing all my paperwork, so that way I could just be in front of my clients, helping them out, being a good resource for them. And that's what I really like, is being in front of my clients in the field, in front of the houses, telling them this is what I would do, helping them buy the house, avoid the bad houses, buy what's going to benefit them the most.
Fantastic. And lastly, so because here at Icons, we're not just a podcast, we're passionate about making podcasting accessible to anybody involved in the business of real estate. And we're the #1 real estate podcast network. So, Alex, if you had your own podcast, what do you think you'd call it?
I would call it Frankov Special Key to Success in real estate.
There we go. Perfect. And then finally, so if anybody is looking to, maybe, are you looking for investors as well for your Airbnbs, or who are you looking to connect with?
Well, anything that there is that has a real estate word in it, I'm in it. I don't really do commercial real estate, but I do have a good referral. But everything with the developing lots, doing flips, doing manufactured home swaps, doing new construction, doing multifamilies. I really like all the aspects of real estate, and I always like to be challenged, and I always like to start, a new path and try new, get into something that I have not done yet. So.
Awesome. And so how would people reach out to you? Where do they find you?
Well, I am on the Facebook. I'm also on the Instagram with Alex Frankov. I now go by Frankov Special. That's my last name, Frankov, and then Special, because I'm gonna provide more than just a normal agent. I'm gonna go above and beyond that. That's why there is that Frankov Special phrase came from. So yeah, and I'm also on YouTube. I have a bunch of videos that's under Alex Frankov on YouTube as well.
Awesome. Well, Alex, thank you so much for your time today. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. And to the listeners, I'll be back next time with the Icons of Real Estate. Bye for now.